Joyhdae.
Ryan. Virgo season. So it is
Mm-hmm.
springtime. Springtime.
Is it?
And as New York does, it's up and down the weather.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I'm still in my buying phase because, I done lost 40 pounds and I can't fit clothes. So,
Here he
so
go.
this week, so this week I had to buy a sweater. So I went to the sweater store and for some reason, and I was totally shocked, my visa was declined. And so the cashier was on some, I'm gonna need that card again.
Ryan, get off
Mhm.
my screen. Get off my screen. Because in my mind, I'm like, first of all, I already know he got Apple Pay on lock. So I know like he would have just been like, boo boo, Apple Pay this. Let me see. I just not for like, and when we start to like for the like, just get off my
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. So you
Get
started a
off my
couple weeks
screen.
ago with a whole bunch of singing, and then last week followed up with telling me that people loved your singing.
They
So I
did.
figured I would take this back over this week. So
I
we doing our things. We're doing our things this
still
week.
owe Will residuals. The lyrics are taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated,
Uh, mm,
but I should be ready by next week
all
because
right, all
some
right.
things have been percolating. But before you
So,
move on,
but go ahead. But then I want to start this episode off. I want to put us in the right
okay.
mode for this week. I
I
got some
just
things. Got some
I just
things.
want to say to spring really quickly, fight back. Why are you letting winter whoop your ass? I don't understand. Okay. Fight back. Just a little tussle. You're not even tussling, sis. You were
Yeah.
letting winter mollywop you. One day, you out here shining bright, giving us beautiful weather,
Facts. Facts.
sunshine. The next
Facts.
day, spring comes in, grabs you by your hair, and is mollywopping you, and you're not even fighting back. Fight back, sis. That's all. Fight back.
I like that. I like that. That's a PSA if I ever heard one.
Like,
So yeah,
come on.
there it
But
is. There it is.
continue.
Okay, so I have a few quick things this week to start
Okay.
us off because I
Okay.
know you got a lot of jargon that I might not know anything about. So this week I'm trying to share some things that you may not know about. All right?
Okay. All right. All
All
right.
right. All right. All right. So, first things first. People are still calling you a serial killer because of your sock shoe
Okay.
business. If y'all don't know, it's your first episode, go back a couple episodes. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It's at the end. All right.
Mhm.
Uh, I want to
Mhm.
say, I had an experience this week that made me
Okay.
think of that specific moment and I
Okay.
wanted to share. I had to deal with it, so I figured you need to also deal with it as well.
Okay. All
So,
right.
we know that your boy's in the gym, and I'm trying to get this body together for the summer, and
Right. Right.
so I go to the gym, and you get into the locker room. First thing that's happening in the locker room, there's a big mirror. It's a
Mhm.
mirror for, I guess, for you to admire your work or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
I barely check it out. But so I'm walking in, unbeknownst to me, like it's just a regular day, I thought, but it wasn't.
Okay.
I'm walking into the locker room, and this is some inside baseball for y'all women that don't come to the men's locker room. I'm traumatized. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized. I walked in, there's a man admiring his work in the mirror. The only problem with him admiring his work in the mirror is that he's not wearing any clothing. The only clothing he was wearing were socks and sneakers.
See, but
Okay,
I'm dressed.
okay, Janae. Okay, I just
I
want to point out. I just want to point out the irony there. This man had no clothes on, but what he did choose to put on was socks and shoes. And guess
but
what? They were both on at the same time. There was no naked foot. There was naked body, but there was no naked
I
foot, Jade. There was no naked
first
foot.
of all,
Where they do that at?
so I exactly. So weirdo. Okay. Thank you for letting me like weirdo behavior because why are you free balling but your feet are covered?
Oh
Weirdo
my
behavior.
God.
I stand
Traumatized.
by what I said, and y'all are not gonna change my mind. Y'all could call me a serial killer. Y'all are still out here drinking seltzer water that tastes like static and afterthought. See, Serial killer vibes.
lemon
See?
seltzer right here.
And then got the nerve to act like y'all adding flavor to it. Serial killer behavior. Serial
nah,
killer
nah,
behavior. Y'all want y'all
nah, nah,
afterthoughts to have a little
nah.
pizzazz to it. Serial killer vibes. Escalated.
Oh
Escalated.
man. Okay.
It is what it
Next
is.
thing. Next thing that you don't know,
Mhm.
but I kind of try to rope you into this week. Chris Brown has a 20th anniversary concert tour coming up this summer, and
Yes.
I was highly uninterested. Okay, highly uninterested. But my wife, my good old wife, was like, um, I know, and blah 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 blah. But it boiled down to, can you get me some tickets? I would love that. I would really love that. All right. I said, fuck. Going to Beyonce concert, done spent a grip on Beyonce. Wasn't expecting this, right? So, all right, whatever. I'm looking. I'm like, it's not gonna be as crazy because Chris is no Beyonce. So I didn't expect the tickets to be too crazy. However, a lot of y'all haters that talk about y'all hate Chris Brown, y'all lying. Y'all lying
Oh
because when
yeah,
I got there,
definitely.
because of when I got there for the tickets, it wasn't right. It wasn't right, and the numbers were numbering, and so I was looking, I was like, all right, how would you feel about nosebleed section, like full blown, like all the way up at the top of
Right.
MetLife Stadium? How would you feel about it? Yeah, I think I'll be all right. And
Right.
so I had this idea, like light bulb that came into my head. I was like, yo, she has a best friend. Let me see if I could rope the best friend into going so that I could just buy one ticket for her and the best friend buy a ticket for her. And then they go and then I don't have to go. I was
Right.
like,
Right.
oh, let me try to make that happen. So
Right.
we call in. The best friend is, oh, I'm going. Oh, no, I'm not going. Oh, I got to wait for my husband. I got to figure it out. Oh, we all going? No, we're not going. Oh, what's the seats looking like? Okay, what's the pricing looking like? Okay, nah, I'm not going to be up in no 300 section. I've got to be in the 200. So hours are passing now and we
Hmm.
are not
Hmm.
getting the tickets. I try to get the tickets. I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. The only way I can make this happen is if this is in the nosebleed. So my wife goes, all right, I've missed Chris Brown before. I don't mind. I'll miss him again. Whatever. I know my wife. I know that's not going to work out. Later in that day, Chris Brown drops another set of tickets for the next day because apparently the demand was so high they had to add
Hmm.
another date. I
Right.
said, okay, this is my chance. This is my chance. So I pull in to the next day's pre-sale. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get these things right off top. And so me not being a Chris Brown fan, I didn't realize once I put myself in that queue for Ticketmaster at number 20,000 and I waited about an hour to get down to it was my turn to go. They said, okay, sir, what's your code? I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, sir. Excuse me, ma'am, sir. What code now? Had no code. Had no code. So then I had to again tell this lady, I tried again for you. No code. Sorry, we're not going to this Chris Brown concert. She's like, all right, yeah, it's all right. It was just wasn't meant to be or whatever. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's all right. I'm just great. It's fine. I'll get to the next one. So then, as Virgos do, end up finding the code like maybe an hour later. I didn't have time to call her because I wasn't about to be back and forth with the pricing and
Right.
all that. Found a decent price in the 200 sections. Long story short, we're going to the concert. Best part about it is your friend, that is my wife, that did not want to go to this concert, when I texted her, happy early birthday, these are your tickets. She calls me and she's just like, what is this? What is this thing? What is this that I'm seeing? Your friend screamed. Your friend screamed. I'm just saying,
Good job,
if
husband.
if y'all
Good
looking for a
job,
husband,
husband.
if y'all looking for a husband that does the things, try to model him after what you see in front of your face right now. Because husband of the
For
year
what you're
today,
hearing,
husband of the
because
year.
because you texted me and definitely was like, "Hey, are you going to see Chris Brown?"
And he was like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yo, that was another part of my plan because I was like, if I have to be stuck in this thing, I got to be here miserable with somebody else. I was trying to get you to go. I was trying to get you to go.
Absolutely not. Like when I say zero interest, they're like negative zero interest in seeing
Right.
Chris Brown. Like,
Right.
there's no, like, no.
So, if I was under the impression that my youngest daughter was not mine,
Mhm.
this week proved to me that she's 100% Ryan. Okay, 100%. I was about to give
I
my
was gonna
last name
say,
there.
not like
I
she
was,
doesn't
I
have
was
your whole entire face, but
anyway. This girl is the goat. So it was April Fool's Day. Obviously, we're in
mhm.
April now. Kid comes home from school. She's like, "Oh, I had such a great time. We got all these treats at school and all these things or whatever." She goes up to my wife. She's like, "Hey, mom, would you like a brownie?" My wife's like, "For me? You really gonna give me some of your treats that you got today, a brownie?" And she was like, "Yeah. You want a brownie? All right, cool. I'm going. I'm coming right back. All right." And I'm sorry for y'all that don't watch and you just listen. The people that watch will get this joke first. All right. This is what she came back to my wife with. I was like, yeah. Yeah.
That is
Oh, it's so good.
that is
Okay, so
good.
for those that are listening, she came back with a brown E. A
A
brown E on
literal, a
construction paper.
literal brown
Oh, this girl
E.
is amazing. This girl is
That is
amazing. So,
hilarious.
as the world is going to shit,
Mhm.
have you noticed that black people are so unserious? Why are we line dancing across America? Why are we line dancing
Because
across
we
America?
tried to
What's going
warn
on?
everybody and they didn't want to listen. So now we just gonna party because we've been through this before and we're okay. We know what to expect. It's the others. So we gonna with them fans that we gonna do
Oh
that
my god.
until the cows come home. We're good.
I fell into a wormhole on TikTok a couple of days ago and I could not get out of it. I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow. Oh wow. We
We are
are
having a
amazing."
time. We are doing the things. We are
What
line
you going to
dancing.
do?
We're traveling. We're going
Yes.
back to school. We
Yes,
doing
we are.
everything. We supporting each other. We are not phased at all. Like we're
At
like,
all. TikTok,
well,
what you going to do without TikTok? As
actually,
of
funny
today,
that you say
it's
that. I
go
just
ahead.
saw, literally just saw something pop up that said they got a 75-day extension.
No way. No
I
way.
just saw that. So I'm gonna
No
look it up
way.
and see if it's true.
We're recording on the 4th. It's supposed to be
Trump
gone on the 5th.
extends, yeah, Trump extends TikTok deadline for the second time. Extended the deadline requiring
Oh
China-based
my
ByteDance to
gosh.
sell U.S. TikTok operations for an additional 75 days. So,
Rules don't matter anymore.
nah,
Rules that
nah,
those things don't matter. Like
those they don't matter. Just let
none.
TikTok be. Like, if you're gonna keep extending it and people are still doing what they're doing, and it has not caused any national security
Facts.
issues, like
Facts.
Signalgate, where your own Department of Defense was out here texting people war plans, let
Right.
TikTok be.
Right.
Before we get into the crux of the episode, I would like to let you know that two of your cousins are firmly on Team Karma Chameleon, and they said that there's nothing you can do to sway them. I just want you to
Oh,
know
those are
that.
the old ones, right? The old people.
I mean,
Those the old
Ash
ones
and
that
Carlisa.
oh, well, Ash is younger than me, but
Yeah, okay, so yeah, yeah.
Carlisa, I done read her for filth many times about that
So
song
I just want
anyway,
you to
and
know
she doesn't care. It is what it
because I
is.
posted a video and I opened it up with Karma Chameleon, and a couple people were like, "Oh, Ryan finna be mad at
I
you,"
I
and I
saw it
said,
and I quickly closed it. Yes.
I just did it to annoy him because that isn't even the song I started filming with. It came to me, and then I said, "Oh yeah, no, this is
Uh,
even better." But I just want you to know that your family is firmly on
uh-huh.
Team Karma Chameleon. So to you,
And to that I say, shut up. All right. All right.
um,
Before you get into all your nonsense, I have
yes,
I have a game. It's not
okay,
really a game, but like y'all people like when I look at old BuzzFeed things. And so I don't know necessarily what I want to call this yet. Um 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 I don't know. It's it's moral dilemmas. That's
okay,
what this is. Moral dilemmas.
okay.
And so I was contemplating naming it "How Terrible Are You?" or something to that effect. But for now, I guess moral dilemmas.
Let me
Moral
just preface
dilemmas.
this before we start to say that I am a morally gray person. I am not morally black and I am not morally white. I am firmly morally gray. So some of y'all might end up listening to this and say, she is terrible. And to that I say, possibly.
Okay, cue theme
Okay.
music. Moral dilemmas. Moral dilemmas. Moral dilemmas.
Okay.
Woo! Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe some audience sounds
Maybe.
here. All right, there it is.
Okay.
All right. So the first one. Maybe I'm only gonna do two because we're already pushing on time. But there's a whole bunch of them, so we could
Okay.
probably come back to this another time. All right, first one. You're at your best friend's wedding just an hour before the ceremony is to start.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier that day, you come across definitive proof that your best friend's spouse to be is having an affair with the best man or maid of honor. And
Mm-hmm.
you catch them sneaking out of a room together looking
Mm-hmm.
disheveled.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you tell your friend about the affair, their day will be ruined, but you don't want them to marry a cheater. What do you do?
Oh, I'm telling. And I'm not even telling her. First of all, I'm whooping ass, so that's how she gonna know something's up. Because if I see y'all come out of room looking disheveled, I'm doing the windmill. I'm rolling up on y'all on the windmill. I'm going to jail. And then when my best friend is like, Joyhdae, what happened? I'm be like, I saw that fool come out of the room with that whore
Mm,
disheveled. And
mm.
so I knew you was getting your makeup done and you was getting ready for the day. And I had to put feet and hands on them because what you not gonna do is disrespect my best friend and play in her face. I would rather her day be ruined than her life be ruined, married to some cheater. So I'm telling.
Okay. What if the maid of honor went to the room to have an innocent conversation and then they were attacked by a flock of cats? I don't know if that's what you call a group of
Why
cats,
is the
but
maid of honor, which means that she is the bride on the bride's side of this wedding, having a private conversation with the groom? Mhm. And technically, I would be the maid of honor for my best friend, and I'm not talking
oh,
to the groom on the wedding
oh,
day unless I'm
oh,
sliding him like a card
oh.
that she gave him. And even then, I'm sliding that
Hmm.
under the door, knocking, and I have the photographer with me to capture the moment. There should be no intimate moments between other people at my best friend's wedding. Don't play me, play Lotto.
You haven't thought about this whatsoever. Wow.
Not even a little
Okay.
bit.
I too will be telling my best friend. I don't think I'll be waiting until the ceremony is about to
Oh,
start and
nah.
everybody's at the
Oh, nah.
altar or whatever it is, but I don't think that the groom would be making it out to meet and
Definitely
greet
not.
everyone because they would know ahead of time. That's
Oh,
just me. I it's like, I feel like if friends are afraid to tell friends the things that they don't want to hear, then they shouldn't necessarily be friends.
those
That's
aren't your
kind of how I
friends.
feel.
That's how I
Like, I
feel.
mean, I don't want no yes people around me. I don't want people to
Exactly.
coddle me or anything like that. Like, I feel like I need to know that if I have a booger, you're gonna tell me, hey, sir, fix that
My friends
or
know.
whatever.
You come to me and you want my opinion, I'm giving it to you honest and raw. I'm not
Right,
sugarcoating anything because
right,
that does nothing for you.
right.
There is no wedding taking place. Like I'm not waiting for her to finish up. The reason the wedding's not happening is because somebody called the police. Like
Mm,
that's why, and everybody's trying to figure out why the police are there because
mm.
we're not. No, no,
Next
absolutely
one.
not.
You are an eyewitness to a crime. A man has robbed a bank, but
Okay.
instead of keeping the money for himself, he donates it to a poor orphanage that can now afford to feed, clothe, and care for its children. You know who committed the crime. If you go to the authorities with the information, there's a good chance the money will be returned to the bank, leaving all the kids in need. What do you do?
The bank's money is insured. It's not my business. They gonna get it back. It's not my business.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Very
like,
good. Very
like,
good.
okay, and
Very good. I ain't see shit. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't see
I didn't see anything.
officer. I didn't have my glasses on, and when I don't have my glasses on, I'm technically legally blind. I did not see. I saw shadows. I
Officer?
didn't even. And when I don't have my glasses on, my hearing is all jacked up. I didn't even hear
Uh
the sirens go off for the break to let
see
me
what I'm
know that there
saying?
was a robbery in progress.
See what I'm saying?
I'm just as
And you see
surprised as you are.
and you see what I'm saying? Like I've been told y'all that I wear the non-prescription glasses so that when I'm interacting with the popo, I am not the big black man. I'm just the big black nerd, you know?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so what I will tell the officers is that when I am wearing my glasses, I can't see because these are not real prescriptions and they just like messing with my focal, you know, length and abilities and things like that. So yeah, I too did not see anything, and I am deaf. Helen
See,
Keller. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry. All right. Okay. Sorry. Should
Yo,
I do another
Helen
one or
Keller has
no?
caught us straight twice on this podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Do I do another, or do we
Yeah,
need to get
let's do
into
one
that
more and
stuff?
then we'll move on.
Okay.
This is fun.
These I did not read, but okay. You have a job as a network administrator for a company that also employs your best friend's husband.
Okay.
Okay. One day, your best friend's husband sends you a message asking you to release an email from quarantine. This
Okay.
requires you to open the email, at which point you discover that it's correspondence between this guy and his secret lover. After releasing the email, you find yourself in a pickle. Your instinct is to tell your best friend about his husband's infidelities, but divulging the contents of company emails is against company policy and you could lose your job. Once it becomes plain that your best friend found out about his cheating husband through a company's email, all trails will inevitably lead to you as the leak. Do you tell him about the indiscretion?
Fuck that job.
I didn't read this one, but like should I have led with this is a job where you make approximately $769,000 a year?
Fuck that job.
See,
You can
that's
always
a
get another one.
that's a friend. That's a friend. That's a good friend right there. You see that? You see
You
that?
can
All
always
right.
get another one. Technically, Black women on average stay at jobs way too long anyway and leave money on the table. So I
Mm,
would take that as my sign that it's time for me to move on. It is what it
mm.
is. But I'm also diabolical enough that I would tell my best friend in a way that it would never even come back to me. So either way, somebody's finding out.
Yeah, I think I would find a way for this information to get to said best friend without them knowing that I
You know
was the
what?
one that did it. For sure.
Duh. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm not forwarding it. I'm taking a picture on my phone. I'm
Uh-huh.
telling my best friend, this is evidence. Now we got to devise a plan to out him because you know he don't know that you know. So now we're going to make it difficult for him and his lover to see. And in his frustration, things is going to
Mm,
start shaking and moving.
mm.
And then I'm going to keep my job. And he's going to keep his job because he don't want them to know that he out here sending illicit emails to his lover during work time.
Mm.
Okay? And I'm going to sit in my office and I'm just going to look at him.
Okay. All right. I think I have an idea for these, but they have to be a little bit more difficult next time. So I'm gonna work on these. Let us know in the comments if you like where this is heading, and we'll do this again. All right.
Doesn't change that
All
I'm a
right.
morally gray person. I'm just letting y'all know that. I don't see things in black and white. I'm just letting y'all know.
What did I name this thing? What did I name this thing? Moral dilemmas.
Oh yeah.
Moral dilemmas.
I was like,
Dilemmas.
I don't know why, but in my mind, I was like, they ain't shit. We're gonna keep the ain't shit vibes going. But not in the direction that you're probably thinking.
Okay.
So you dropped this in the text messages about Anthony Edwards, the basketball player, allegedly paying 18 years of child support up front for his baby mama. That is a rumor. That is not fact.
Because I definitely thought it was a rumor, but I figured I would just, because I didn't have time, I figured I would send it to my fact checker and she would figure out if it was the truth or not. But that would be diabolical as hell.
He was ordered to pay 1.8 million total for the child, but it wasn't in like child support. Like that wasn't like a child support $5,000 a month payment. So I know a lot of men in the manosphere were cheering and saying, see, that's what you do. You get it all out in one good chunk and then she can't come back for more.
Oh,
Wrong.
man.
You guys couldn't be more wrong because
That's
he could have
wild.
paid that 1 million. And if the child's needs later in life exceeds what that 1 million was, a court could go back and say, now we need to add additional money to that. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
have been a one and done situation. I know y'all would
Yeah.
hope for that.
Yeah.
That's not what it was. I will say though, TikTok is hella messy because after you sent that to me, I have never seen Anthony Edwards on my timeline. I didn't know that that man existed. I did not know that he had a TikTok page. TikTok decided to show me a video of him celebrating the birthday of, I guess, the daughter that he did want with the woman that he is currently with.
Oh, wow.
And I said, use a raggedy bitch TikTok, because I ain't never seen this man. I didn't know he existed until this moment. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, so,
Wow.
and anyway, and also it was resolved under Georgia and not California law. So
Okay.
I just wanted to clear that air up. We're going to do the small bites first.
Okay.
A rapper by the name of Young Scooter died after a false 911 call. So,
Okay.
rapper Young Scooter died on his 39th birthday after a false 911 call was made in Southeast Atlanta. A young woman by the name of Demetria Spence, who is allegedly, or not allegedly, but she is a reality star from the show Baddies, placed a fake 911 call talking about
Oh my
guns,
God.
domestic violence, someone was getting pistol whipped, a whole story that sent the cops to where this young man was at celebrating his birthday. In his
Oh
attempt
my
to
God.
escape the cops, he got mortally wounded, which ended up in him losing his life. He tried to
Wow.
escape jumping two fences and cut his leg open on a wooden plank. He bled out and died at the hospital. She then later
Oh my
got on
God.
Instagram saying that she was protecting her. So first of all, didn't nobody know it was her. I mean, I'm sure the cops knew, but the general public did not know it was her until she got on Instagram and saying
And
that she
out
was
of
going to
herself.
protect herself, outed herself. And she has now been charged with making a false alarm. More of this, because y'all be squatting people for shits and giggles, thinking that nothing's going to happen. It is dangerous. That's not a victimless crime. It is dangerous. It's not funny.
So you call this squatting? What is squatting? I thought
Squatting
swatting
is
was a
when,
thing, but I don't know what squatting is.
I mean, or am I calling it wrong? Swatting. Sorry, swatting.
So,
Swatting. Squatting is
cause
when people move in. Yeah, swatting. Sorry.
yo,
It's too
Janae,
many things that are the
so
same.
you
Y'all know I'm
asked me,
old.
you
I
asked
get
me
my
to look
words
this
mixed
up.
up.
You asked me to look this up, and so I started looking this up, and I was just like, just seeing like squatting laws in Georgia and like all of these things. I was like, ain't nobody got time for all this. She's just gonna have to tell me what it is when we see each other. Cause like
I
I was
meant
like, what is she?
swatting. Did I write
What is
squatting
she?
in the notes?
Squatting. I was like, what is
My
squatting?
bad.
Okay,
My bad. Swatting. Swatting is not a victimless crime. Squatting is
I'm
also not a victimless crime, but that's neither
right.
here nor there.
I didn't mean to laugh at this situation. This gentleman is actually my age, and this is a pretty terrible situation. Damn, yo, I thought we didn't call 911 frivolously.
They do now because they think it's
Like,
funny. They do
damn
it to
it.
Twitch streamers all the time. Like, that's one of the reasons Hallie does not like Halo with DDG when he's on
Cause,
streams, because people
cause
be
she has no
squatting.
idea what's about to happen over at that place.
People be
Yeah.
swatting. Yeah, people be calling in false alarms and stuff like that. And the cops don't have any way of knowing whether it's legitimate or not. And they
Right.
pull up
Right.
with the SWAT team ready for
R-
you.
I was under the impression that he lost his life because they showed up and then all of a sudden it was a police shooting or something like that. But man,
No,
bled out from cutting his leg. That's so tragic. That is so tragic. Oh my
it is
gosh.
tragic. You want to know
Rest
what
up,
else is
sir.
tragic? Eric Adams being let off the hook by a federal judge for his federal corruption case and having it dismissed with prejudice. That's tragic.
An episode
Um,
can't go without you mentioning
I
Eric
can't
Adams.
stand that bobble-headed bumblebee.
Uh, mm,
Feds dropped it, citing that it was interfering with his role as mayor and immigration coordination under Trump's return. Now, he said that he ain't got nothing to do with Trump and he's not anyone's
mm-hmm,
shill. But in his
mm-hmm,
press conference following, he's out here holding up a book of Kash Patel, who is one of Trump's cronies' books, which is full of deep state conspiracy stuff. Then he says that he is a Democrat that's independent minded and that he's not running for re-election as an independent, not a Democrat, because he has not had time to mount a case during his for the Democratic primary. To which I say, if you could mount a case during the Democratic primary, why would you be able to do so as an independent?
this is a good question. This is a good question, ma'am. Also, you knew this was coming up. You knew it was coming up. Like you could have
Yeah,
had your ducks in a row and everything ready to go. Like, but you knew that the Democrats were not going to be in your corner, and so you only had the option to run as an independent. It ain't gonna work. Sorry. I
listen,
mean,
like
it
I
is what it
said,
is.
on Threads, he can run as a Democrat, he can run as an independent, he can run as a co-defendant. You're not winning. It don't matter. You're not winning. It
Yo,
don't matter.
so basically, as far as I know, the case was dismissed with prejudice. I think it was with prejudice. Yes, so that they cannot file the charges again in the same way with the same evidence.
Because the feds wanted it without, which means they would be able to. And then the judge
Right.
was basically like, that's not fair.
That's not fair because basically that would keep him under the thumb of the federal government and it would leave him open to do their bidding as the city's top official. You know what I mean? So,
Which I mean,
yeah.
he's doing anyway. So it is what it is. Also, he was on Andrew Schultz's whatever he has.
I think I saw
And
something about that. Yeah.
Andrew Schultz asked him which borough had the best women or something along those lines. And he said, and I quote, all the shorties from all the boroughs are bad, or something corny to that effect. You will not win. You're not even like, the thing about it is, it'd be different if he was genuinely just like a cool person, right?
Right. Right.
Because we would be like, yo, he sucks as a mayor, but like, I want to be his friend. Like, we don't even want to be
Right.
your friend. Like, you're just
Yeah.
corny. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
even translate well. Like, it literally translates like when your parent learns a new word from watching Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy, and they call you up and they're like saying it, and you're like, you're not even using that term correctly.
Yo,
Like,
speaking of which, sidebar, like I'm old, so I watch streaming like broadcast TV or whatever. So there's a commercial that is out there. Y'all can look it up. It's one of those insurance companies, and there's like a dad that is like in the kitchen with his kids, and he's out here learning all the kids' slang words and using bussin' and all the stuff. One of the funniest commercials I've seen in a long time, and he's using all the words in the right way, the right with the right intonation and timing and everything. It's amazing. Anyway, so don't get it twisted. I will be
sidebar,
a dad that knows all the words. I'm just saying.
I'll be the auntie that knows all the words too, and I will embarrass you because I'm going to use them correctly. It's just a part of my it's a part of my lexicon. There's nothing you can do about it. Sorry. Sidebar, even though I mentioned Andrew Schultz and he's really not my cup of tea, he was on Ryan Clark's podcast where Ryan Clark called him to task about the things that he said about Black women when Fresh and Fit were on his show.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go into it, but I just want y'all to know that Andrew Schultz's black scent was nowhere in the vicinity when he was talking to Ryan Clark, which lets me know that you're a bitch because you decided you wanted to put on your HR voice when talking to a real black man versus when you
Mm-hmm.
were on there
Mm-hmm.
chilling with Charlemagne and then you want to act like you're down for the cause. Corny, you're corny. Also, usually when comedians make jokes at the expense of other people, it's usually based in reality, like their own personal reality. Ryan Clark asked him, has he dealt with Black women who are abusive to him? And he said no. So what are you making jokes about Black women being abusive for if you've never experienced that?
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
See what I'm
Just
saying? Y'all,
just
y'all need to take your idols off the altar and just give it a second look. Just
just
understand what it is that you're praising. You know, because terrible.
like,
Like,
what are we doing?
yeah.
Allegedly Mariah Carey and Anderson Paak are dating.
So
You sent this to me. I didn't know.
I did not know. So I was okay. Again, things like on those rare occasions where you find me scrolling on social media, I will come across something that piques my interest, and I was just like, "Wait a second, is this real?" And so, I sent this information over to my resident fact checker. So, what you got? What'd you come up with?
Allegedly they've been dating for a few months. Not a lot is
What?
known. They met during a studio collab last summer. They've been spotted in Aspen. They spent Halloween together and at the iHeart Music
Interesting.
Award. He's 39, she's 55. No one really cares about that. They're well past grown, both of them. It's not like, he's 20 years old dating 55-year-old Mariah Carey. Then we would have a problem.
Right.
But I mean, I don't care.
I mean, I guess I don't care, but it piqued my interest because I'm just like, uh, all right. I don't know how best to say this, but Anderson is my age. Uh, Mariah's 55. We've now watched her be the queen of Christmas for many, many years, which means she gets a lot of stage time that we
Mhm,
see in now. Social media shows
mhm,
all of it. The lady does not move. She
She
cannot
doesn't.
move. She does not move. What am I doing with that today? I'm just asking. I'm just asking for the people that are in the cheap seats.
I mean,
What am I do with that? I don't
now here's
understand.
the thing though. Stage performance Mariah, like on a stage, and bedroom Mariah may not be the same thing.
We would hope. I don't
You know
care.
what I mean?
It's not my bedroom. But like,
They
I mean,
wouldn't
I
like
guess
they
what
may
people
not
want
be
to
the
know.
same thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. Mariah could really be like if she's been with people who have been with her for quite some time. She's not a J Lo. You know what I mean? I think J Lo's the opposite. J Lo's doing all these moves on stage, and then in the bedroom, everybody's like, "This was not it."
uh,
That's just
all
me
right, all
personally.
right, all
But
right.
I'm not gonna knock it because
Okay.
she do got them
Yeah,
stilettos and all that other stuff. It's not my business.
I guess not. Now that I
It's not
come
my
to think about
business.
it, it's really not mine. We can move
But
on. Good for y'all. Good for
so
y'all.
you like to tell me that things that when I used to read you, I'm gonna sneeze.
Go
No,
ahead.
I'm not because I said it
All
out
right.
loud.
Boom.
You like to tell me when I used to read those very messy Am I the Assholes that people don't live like this and people are making these types of stories up. It does not happen. I am going to
uh.
introduce you
Mm-hmm.
and many people that are listening right now to
Okay.
the Engagement Swindler, which is a Black man by the name of Byron Hopkins. Okay.
Byron, with a name like Byron. Let me buckle up. All right. Let's see what you got.
Byron Hopkins went viral after proposing to his girlfriend at a Tyler the Creator concert in ATL. The crowd was screaming. The girlfriend looked shocked. Camera caught it all. People were loving it. And then comes TikTok.
Okay.
A former friend decided to drop a bombshell. Byron's already married.
Of course he
She called
is.
him a scammer, a thief, and a liar. Then that opened up the floodgates.
Okay.
Two other women, including Sinbad's daughter, Paige Bryan, who claims he left her days before their wedding and stole the engagement ring, are also a victim.
No.
He used to live with them. Byron allegedly also has at least 7 kids by different women and owes over 100K in child support. Okay. He's been
Oh my
proposing to women
God.
under fake names and making up whole backstories that are obviously fake. One woman said she was with him for 2 years before she found out he was living a double life. Okay. He's being called the Black Tinder Swindler. People are just pulling things out of left and right. He's like in the
Mm-hmm.
army. The wildest thing is, ain't nobody heard from the fiance from the concert. She ain't popped up nowhere. Allegedly, she's like, all these women are lying, despite photographic evidence and like paper
Right.
trail that
Right.
exists.
Oh man.
See, you say
So
people don't live
so
like this. We don't live like this.
so I'm trying to understand. So this person is supposedly in the army, and this is how he's able to
He's a
have these
Marine, which, yeah, he
multiple lives, I
travels for
guess.
work.
Okay. People like this need to be locked up for sure. Like they need to
Yeah,
sit down somewhere and think about their actions.
yeah,
Because it's like I'm firmly under the impression that this is the reason why there's such animosity towards people dating right now, because
mhm.
they feel like this is what they're gonna get, and they feel like all people are in this same vein. And so now you have people coming at situations with the animosity already before they've even like sussed out the situation. They're coming with us an energy, the other person's coming with defensive energy, and then there's all of that. That's why dating is not working these days. And that's
It's
also
not.
why we are, I don't know if I told you this, I think I told somebody this, but like I was under the impression that our population was growing,
Oh
and
no, it's not.
it would just continue to grow and grow and grow. I think we're going to hit a plateau. I think as far as what I saw in the study or whatever, I have to look it up again, but we're going to hit a plateau around like say 2050-ish,
Mhm,
2060-ish, something
mhm.
like that, at around 10 billion people on the planet. And then it's going to drastically start falling to somewhere around 6 billion-ish around 2100. Also, there's a whole bunch of people across the country. Every place in the country, there's like birth rates that are declining. I mean, every
Declining.
not the country, the world. every
Yeah.
place in the world, birth rates are declining. And so what's happening is we're not making enough children to replace just the people that are already here. We have really good medicine, so our population is high because our older people are living longer, and those older people are going to need like resources and help from the younger generation. But if you have this generation that is dwindling, we're going to get to a point where we're not going to have enough people to replace us, and we're not going to have enough people that fall in the middle that take care of kids and take care of the elder generation. So we're screwed. We
Oh
ain't going to
yeah.
be here by the time that happens, but this world is
There's
pretty much screwed.
there's a trend happening right now on TikTok that's from a song that I'm not familiar with, but it's like 21 with no kids or whatever. And women, childless women, like women who are choosing not to have children, have
Right.
taken over the trend to be like, 39 with no kids and like what they've accomplished in life. And
Right.
for some reason, this has parents upset. Like
I can imagine.
this has other people who have chosen to be parents
Right.
upset. And I'm trying to figure out, why are you angry at a choice that somebody else, like one woman got on there and was like, are you a lesbian? Do your parts not work? Like, does no man want to impregnate you? And I just want to know, if you are happy as a parent, what does that have to do with me choosing to not have kids?
So I don't like the fact that people are coming at people in that way. Where I do empathize with these people is that I too am a parent, and I'm upset because y'all are supposed to be out here struggling with us too. Y'all, that's what y'all supposed to be doing. All right? That's what y'all supposed to be doing. But like on a more serious note, like if we were to just look at this in the macro on the macro level, like because of people not choosing to have children, we are literally killing the species. Like if you look
But I
at it,
mean,
if there's not a major drastic change in how we do things and what we're doing, we're basically going to like just start deteriorate. Like the numbers are just not gonna make any sense.
no,
Like
I get it. But see, the problem is, right? There's like, obviously, this is a complex issue that can't be solved
it
by just
is.
the two of us talking, right?
No, no, no.
But
I wish.
childbirth in of itself is still barbaric, and the toll that it takes on women's bodies is not treated with enough care, if you ask me. Like the fact that women are still dying of childbirth complications to this
Right.
day is
Right,
wild
right.
to me.
Yeah.
And while I get that, like, motherhood is something like, do I wonder about it sometimes? I do, because I think having a mini me would set this world right. Okay. Because she'd be cursing y'all out. I wouldn't even have to say nothing. She would just be cursing y'all out, and it would be fantastic. But when I
Right.
think about the possibility of what could happen to me in childbirth, as someone who has decent health care, who should be able to get decent medical, like decent help if I go into labor, why would I
Right.
even put myself through that when there's literally no guarantee? Like, even recently, a black man lost his wife at a hospital, even though he advocated for her, because black women are disproportionately not believed by medicine when it comes
Right.
to child. Like, why would I
Right.
do that to myself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, the shit is expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
We
It is. It
struggling
is.
now.
There's a lot.
So
There's a lot to go into this conversation, and this is a bigger conversation to have
yeah, it
for a bigger
definitely
time.
is.
But speaking of advocating, this is why we had both of our kids with a doula in the hospital setting, because the doula was able to advocate in ways that medical professionals understood with all the jargon and all of the stuff,
Right.
so we were blessed in that way, and I would implore people to also look into that stuff. But like you said, black women are disproportionately at a disadvantage here, and that also needs a huge, huge intervention and needs a huge change. So I get it. I get the reasons for why women and people choose not to do this. But yeah, like I said, y'all have to be out here struggling with me and Cash as you put him in the screen here for all of us to see. Hi, Cash.
You get my did he get cuter? Look at him. He got cuter. Mwah. I just want y'all to see that he's okay. His cone
Hmm.
is off. He's back to harassing me. He survived.
Very good.
He ain't got no nuts, but he all right. because I wasn't trying to be a grandmother
Barbaric.
anyway. I'm too young to
Barbaric.
be a grandmother.
Barbaric. Barbaric.
Speaking of barbaric, Keke Palmer decided that she's gonna have Jonathan Majors
Oof.
on her podcast
Oof.
for the
Oof.
episode titled "No Easy Answers," and I guess this is supposed to be an episode about accountability and giving people grace. Now, if y'all have lived under a rock, Jonathan Majors was convicted in 2003 of reckless assault and harassment of his girlfriend at the time. Keke Palmer has opened up about her experiences with abuse.
2023, by the way, not
What did I say?
2003. 2003.
2023. Sorry. I'm not sure why our good Virgo sis, who has been so far immaculate in handling her life in terms of media and perception, would decide to platform someone like Jonathan Majors. I don't get why Black people as a whole feel like we always need to give people second chances without them actually having done the work. This
Right.
happened in 2023. That was not that long ago.
No.
Jonathan Majors, to this day, in my humblest of opinions, has not lost anything because y'all are still interviewing him. So people are mad. Okay, they deserve to be mad. He put his hands on somebody, and I get it. I don't know that this reaction would be the same had the victim been Black. I don't know if we're being softer on him because the victim is a white woman and we're just kind of like, at least it wasn't one of us and he came, now he's home with a Black woman, i.e. Megan Good. But a monster is a monster.
Right.
And we have to stop coddling our monsters. Okay, this is why when people say cancel culture is bad, cancel culture does not exist because in reality, a man who puts his hands on women, even if it's just one woman, would not be able to just bounce back within a year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, like I started this episode, I am going to a Chris Brown concert against my will. Here we are. The cancel culture does not really exist.
It doesn't.
What I will say is that I got schooled. I got schooled looking this up on TikTok. Black women are out here doing the work and speaking truth to power, and they big mad at not only Keke Palmer but also Sherry Shepherd, as you mentioned last week or whatever, platforming this guy. Apparently, one woman was like, somehow Jonathan Majors has become Hollywood's darling, and people are on a campaign to revamp his image or whatever, and they're talking about how his PR is amazing, his relationship with Megan is a whole part of this whole thing, him being platformed with Keke and Sherry and like Whoopi and like all these people, Will Smith and all these people, is to, revamp this image. And there's like a whole thing that people are in cahoots to do and all that. I don't know anything about that conspiracy theory, but Black women make really good points when it comes to this. I grew up watching, like I said, women be in power positions, but I also grew up watching women be mistreated in many situations. So I can't say that I can back someone that is willing to admit, and obviously he's been convicted and all of these things of domestic violence. Like this is not okay in any shape or form. And like you said, there's no reason for him to be out here. This is not like he's like solving cancer or anything like that. We don't need him in the industry.
He's
We
an
don't need
actor.
him. We don't need him to make movies. We don't need to see him in the public eye. So the only reason we're doing that is because we keep giving him opportunities. If we stop giving him opportunities, he will disappear. I don't get where the disconnect is here.
And I have a second thought that was raised while you were talking.
Okay.
When he was not in a Black led film or an all Black film, how much Black media did Jonathan Majors actually do before this case and conviction happened? Was he seeking y'all out, or is he seeking y'all out now because everybody knows that we are the ones who, if we forgive him, everybody
The
else is
rest,
now
everybody
going
as
to
well.
forgive
Yeah.
him?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I said it before, when we talked about him earlier that, you know, I wanted to get all the facts. I'm not a pitchfork as soon as something happens kind of person, unless you're R. Kelly. Throw him under the jail. But all of his calculated moves after, to me, screams guilty.
Yeah.
That fake image where he was allegedly breaking up a fight on Hollywood Boulevard between like two high school students, and he just happened to be
Yeah.
there in his
Yeah.
Malcolm X garb. Like, let's be. And Keke's been messy because she was also recently interviewing Clarissa Shields,
Right.
and asked her about Remy Ma and said something along the lines of like, "Is she not scared Remy Ma will shoot her?"
So yeah, I definitely. This is so
And it's
sad
like,
to say
Keke, girl,
because
this is not what we want from you.
yeah, because I'm like I would say I mean I'm a fan of Keke, but like she has been being pretty questionable, and
Yeah.
so I definitely have been listening to her podcast. I definitely listened to that specific episode with her and Ryan Destiny. She was interviewing both of them at the same time,
Yes.
and I was shocked. I was completely shocked because up until that point, it was a pretty okay interview, and then it just got messy. And I was just like, all right, I guess you're trying to sell controversy to drum up some like
We don't want that
some
from you, Keke.
understanding for your I mean some like I guess attention for your podcast, but this is trash. I don't
We
like
don't
it. I
want
don't know
that
that
from
I
you.
will listen, continue to listen, honestly.
We don't want the shade room from you. We don't want you to be Charlemagne Light. We don't want you to be Tasha K Jr. We don't. That's not what we expect from you. That's not what we
Right.
enjoy from you.
Right.
You so far have been positive.
Right.
And I don't think a conversation with Jonathan Majors about accountability when he has not yet taken accountability for his actions is the
Yeah.
way to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap
Like
this up because we've been doing this for a while. But go ahead.
but real quick before you
Yeah.
go, like one last thing about this that I didn't understand. Wasn't she the same one that was, trying to garner support when she was accusing Trey Songz of things,
Yes.
also her baby daddy of things and all
Yes.
of that type of stuff.
That's
So
what makes it perplexing.
for this to be your life, and then you allow someone like this on your show and give them a platform that is this big, because let's be real, you are everywhere and everybody's paying attention, and so for this platform to be given to somebody like this is strange to me, coming from where you're coming from. So I don't know.
Exactly. I don't
I
I
don't know.
don't like it. We're gonna end on a positive note before we get into our usual funny jokes.
Okay.
Cory Booker decided that he was gonna take a moment and make history.
Yes. Yes.
And he stood on the Senate floor and spoke for 25 hours and 5 minutes, setting a new record and
Wow.
using every second of it to call out what he sees as a national crisis under Donald Trump's second term. And I
Yep.
know people are talking about political theater, but that is what politics is. Political theater. If you're going to do it, you got to do it for a reason and not just do it for shits and giggles. And Cory did it for a reason. He used that time to lay out the stakes. He talked about cuts to Medicaid and Social Security, GOP attacks on immigration, education, and working families, ongoing threats to voting rights, democracy itself. He read letters from people that were outwardly affected by some of this administration's doings so far.
Right.
And it was symbolic. Get it. There was no bill to block. It wasn't tied to any, laws being passed, but it was a moment for visibility. It was a moment where
Visible.
someone was finally speaking out against this administration and was saying things that finally needed to be said out loud and not
That's right.
sugarcoat. And
That's
now
right.
it's on congressional record.
That's right.
Now, what makes this powerful is that he didn't just use the time to play it safe, he leaned in. He talked about when he was crossing the finish line to breaking this record, he brought up Strom Thurmond, who had currently held the record for 24 hours and 18 minutes, as he tried to filibuster the Civil Rights Movement Act.
Right.
While he was doing all his leaning in and shouting and doing what he did, Cory Booker called on the strength of John Lewis and mentioned that he was making good trouble and spoke about what an amazing man John Lewis was and how he wasn't there despite Strom Thurmond, but there in spite of his attempt to roll back or stop civil rights movement. I am proud of Cory Booker. this is the one time I was like, I'm from New Jersey, because right now New York politicians are not looking good.
Right.
I will say, though, that while I enjoyed the speech, I also need y'all to really now take this moment and put some, like I said in something else, put the paddle to the ass and stop trying to gentle parent these Republicans.
I was definitely going to say fire to ass, but maybe paddle to ass was the right term. But yes. Nah, definitely do something. Dems
Like,
need to
now's the
do
time,
something.
because this gave people a spark of hope, because he was talking real. So it gave people a spark of hope. Now we need y'all to start acting.
Yeah.
Now we need y'all to start acting. But, I found out my mama stole my stamps, because I wrote a thank you card to Cory Booker for doing this. Come to find out I don't have stamps, so my mama took them, and she said, "Oh, I didn't think you needed them anymore," which you could have asked me. I also want to point out that I don't care what y'all say, Cory Booker is a much better human than I will ever be, because I would have peed on every Republican seat. That man stood there for 25 hours and 5 minutes with nary a potty break, nary nothing.
Right.
I'm not built like that. I'd have peed on everything.
He said he prepared.
Everything.
He said he prepared. He dehydrated himself before he did it, and all this garbage. And then Dems helped him out by asking long questions so that he could rest his voice so that he could make the record. So it was a whole thing that definitely would have made even more noise if he peed on the seats for sure.
I'd have peed one. We wouldn't have lasted an hour, because I'd have started cursing. I already know. I wouldn't have been nice at all. I'd have started cursing that orange mother.
Speaking of political theater, y'all talking about it's not theater. What was Trump putting a Tesla on the front lawn of the White House? What was that? That wasn't political theater? What, like literally, I could keep going. It's escaping me right now because I'm about to hit 40. But there's all the things that they do is political theater. So I'm just saying.
Musk with his chainsaw, because he doges slashing.
Come on now.
Also, shout out to Chris Murphy, who Cory Booker also said had been there with him for the whole thing, for the entire 25 hours and 5 minutes.
Right.
I know at the beginning of the episode you said I am a great friend. I am not a Chris Murphy type of friend, because I would have fallen asleep multiple times. Okay? Y'all would have caught me snoring, because what do you mean we are sitting here for 25 hours and you need me?
I don't believe that, Joyhdae. I do believe that if you were in this same position and you understood the gravitas of all of this, you would have been there and did the things so I don't believe that.
I understand the gravitas of people kidnapping people in cars. That does not stop me from falling asleep in an Uber. I goes to sleep.
No, okay, Joyhdae. I know we're joking or not, but literally, if you were in that position, you would have done the things. All right, come on, Joyhdae.
That's what they would have heard. Sidebar, before and then the last thing, I want y'all to know that Trump really built his tariffs using AI, because why are penguins getting tariffs? We're not gonna go too much into it, but I want to know why tens of penguins are getting. What are we doing?
I can't. I really tried not to do this, but we have to from time to time speak about what's going on in politics. But I'm so gassed and winded by all of what's going on. I don't know how much more energy I can put towards this every single day. Every single day. Jesus Christ.
For 75 days. It's been something.
My God.
It's been something. We out here putting tariffs on penguins. I hope he gets bit by one. I hope he goes to a zoo for a photo op and a penguin bites the shit out of him.
Since we're talking about animals, why don't oysters donate to charity?
Why?
Because they're shellfish.
You know what? How much room is needed for fungi to grow? I can't.
How much room is needed for fungi to grow? Is this dirty or no?
No.
Listen. Right? I don't know, Joyhdae.
Oh,
what?
Shit.
How much?
As mushroom as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Mary Dooley for that one. And she also wanted me to say that she forgot that you made fun of her Subaru. So that makes her
so I
cussing
brought
you
that
out.
right back up. So...
Yeah. So.
Oh gosh, sorry, Mary. Sorry. All right. I don't need you to cuss me out again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. Since we still on animals and stuff, my friend kept annoying me with bird puns. All right.
Oh God.
2 can play that game.
First of all, Fruit Loops used to be my favorite cereal growing up.
Sam. Where you at, Sam?
Shit. I think we did this before, but I'm going to bring it back anyway.
Okay.
Who won the neck decorating contest?
The net decorating contest?
Neck decorating contest.
Neck. Huh. And this is not dirty.
No. None of my jokes are dirty this week. First of all, wow. Wow.
It's just kicking right now.
I'm rubbing off on you. Wow.
Oh, you see what you did there again? All right.
Oh, God.
All right. I don't know. What is the answer today?
It was a tie.
Okay. All right. Did you hear about the dwarf psychic that escaped from prison?
Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry to all the little people. No.
There was a small medium at large.
Oh.
You done or what?
No. We always talk about my lack of relationships, and I was talking to my therapist.
Uh-huh.
And she said, it seems like you have an acute phobia of marriage. Do you know what the symptoms are? And I'm like, I can't say that I do. She was like, exactly.
I can't say that I do. That's great. That is great. Okay, all right. So recently I spotted an albino Dalmatian.
Oh, God.
That was the least that I could do.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that poor albino Dalmatian. This is my last one.
Uh-huh.
How did Harry Potter get down the hill?
Oh, Harry Potter. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, so I don't know all the terminologies, but I'm pretty sure this is funny. How?
Walking. JK Rowling.
Rolling. Come on, Joyhdae. Rolling.
Her last name is Rowling. I'm not going to say it wrong.
I did it. I did that joke a long time ago. I don't know why I forgot that joke. Damn it.
Did you?
This memory is just
our
like...
memories are shot.
It's like, geez. Gosh, before I go into the sign-off...
Oh, God. That means it's going to be a doozy. Oh, God.
So, my wife loves the makeup and stuff, but this week I had to tell her that she drew her eyebrows on a little too high. She was very surprised.
First of all, I knew where that was going because I know what too high eyebrows look like because I've done that myself. Okay, so I knew where that was going.
Oh my gosh. All right. VirgoSeasonShow.com is the website. You can find the merch there. You can find our show notes there. You can also find a picture of myself and Joyhdae if you feel like you don't get enough of us on the weekly show.
I didn't even know that, but okay.
There's pictures there, too.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to email us, you could do that at virgoseasonshow@gmail.com. Also, I figured if you guys love this show, and obviously some of you do because you keep coming back, and you think other people might love it too, give us a little rating and give us a little review. It really helps. It really goes a long way. And, I know it sounds cliche, but, if we are to keep growing, you guys got to do your part. So thank you and appreciate you in advance.
I'm not going to be as nice as... No, I'm joking. You imagine if I start cussing people out?
Yikes. Yikes.
You can also find us at Virgo Season Show on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. There was a bird out my window and I thought it was a bug in my apartment, and this was about to end so much faster. You can also find Ryan at Black Ryan on TikTok and Instagram, and you can find me at Joyhdae on TikTok and Instagram for the next 75 days.
Until the next 75 days.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible. Okay, all right. This was a submission,
Okay.
and I don't want y'all to think that this is me or my wife. Okay.
Okay.
It was a submission. All right.
Okay.
What's the
The
difference
lies you
between
tell.
what's the difference between a wife and a bank account?
Who submitted this? Will?
No, it wasn't Will this time.
Because I was about to be like, well, I'm about to slide in your wife's DMs because you out here wilding. What's the difference between a wife and a bank account?
My bank account is always willing to go down.
You know what's funny is I was gonna say something about swallowing. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense, but that's where my mind went. But anyway, bye y'all.
Virgo season.